Is it a meltdown or a masterpiece? That's the Pisces dilemma, and right now, Justin Bieber's living it. In astrology, Pisces is a sign of creative and spiritual genius, but it also comes with self-delusion and escapism. Pisces, you may think you're doing the grown-up thing, making genius creative moves, but unconsciously, you may be feeding your addictions, indulging in your vices, isolating, and creating the perfect environment for your own self-destruction. For months, people have been saying that Justin Bieber is crashing out, that he's on the verge of some epic meltdown. But astrologically, he's been deep in Piscean waters, and that comes with both inspiration and addiction. For toxic Pisces, one of their biggest blind spots is their avoidance of hard work and an over-reliance on their natural gifts, like their spiritual and artistic gifts, and in particular, musical gifts. A quick example that always comes to mind is Rihanna, another Pisces, and how she's achieved massive success with what sometimes looks like very little activity. Like, people always like to critique her low energy choreography. You won't catch Rihanna doing one-handed cartwheels or grueling tours with no sleep, bus, club, another club. Pisces would much rather go to a beach, roll a blunt, and channel their next project. That said, Pisces can use their natural talents and gifts like a crutch, leaving them with a lack of discipline or work ethic, which usually isn't a problem, but when life gets stressful or throws them a surprise challenge or obstacle, Pisces can be caught underprepared and left out in the cold. It makes me think of the story about the grasshopper and the ants. Pisces would be the grasshopper, the musician that didn't prepare for winter. So before the release of Swag in July 2025, when it came to Justin Bieber, most people were quick to label his behavior as crashing out or breaking down or just in general not having it together. People were saying that we should be concerned and worried and that he looked unwell or unstable and that maybe he would end up in a conservatorship. And to be fair, a lot of that concern still holds true after the album's release. People have been speculating about what substances he's been on, a common Piscean struggle. And he's been seen publicly in these baggy, kind of unkept outfits, which now people are looking at differently because he's coming out with this new brand, Skylark. And so it's part of his derelict look. But I think the concern comes from the fact that we've seen celebrities in this similar state before. His lean appearance, the encounters with the paparazzi. I think it brings to mind for a lot of people images of Britney, Lindsay, or even Amy, which make me think, is there anyone out there that benefits from Bieber being portrayed this way?
I don't know who's paying you to with me or provoke me, but I'm not the one.
Or is this also maybe just his own way to get in the public eye and get trending? And while all these speculations are happening, it also seemed to be that he was struggling a bit financially. He sold his discography for $200 million, which is an unusual move for an artist so young. And then not long after that, it came out that he was reaching a settlement with his former business partner, Scooter Braun, for canceling out of tour dates. So he owes Scooter somewhere around the amount of $30 million for those canceled tour dates. And to be honest, this is just another Piscean trait of backing out of responsibilities. But, he is making it right by now paying that money back. So just keep that in mind as we move forward to discuss the album. So when Justin dropped Swag with almost zero rollout and amid all of these personal and financial turmoils, My first thought was, is this going to be a Miley Cyrus Bangers album or a Britney Spears Blackout album where an artist is breaking away from their former management, they're trying to do something on their own. And so I was excited to have a first listen. And you know, these types of albums, they initially get torn apart by mainstream reviewers, so I'm not surprised that a lot of magazines had a lot of criticism for the album. Having said that, these albums tend to resonate really well with artists' fan bases and usually end up being cult favorites. And I think that's because the fans can tell when an artist is having fun and bringing joy into their work and into their art, and the fans love it. And that brings me back to Justin's recent viral outburst where he confronts the paparazzi. And even though the what's not clocking to you part is what's going viral, I was also struck by how he kept repeating, I'm a father, I'm a father.
I'm a father. I'm a dad. I'm a father. I'm a dad.
I think much like Miley and Britney, who also had their breakout albums, Justin entered into our public consciousness when he was a kid. And I think he's still fighting that kid image and wants to be taken seriously. And I feel like part of that for him is, you know, I'm an adult, I'm a dad, I'm a parent.
A real dad with a real family.
And that is really being pushed as part of the album imagery. And honestly, it's understandable. I can only imagine how patronizing and infantilizing it must be to be managed as a child star and have your business partners kind of act like pseudo parents to you, and they probably do resist you growing up and having your own opinions. But getting married, becoming a father, that doesn't automatically fix your problems or heal your addictions. And Bieber has openly spoken about that fact that family life didn't fix things for him like he expected.
I remember when I first got married, I hit a little bit of an emotional breakdown because I thought marriage was going to fix all my problems.
I'm reminded of Kurt Cobain, another Pisces, and how he would hold his own daughter while still very much on drugs. As powerful as love is, it can't pay your taxes and it can't heal your addictions. Pisces often wants to come across as spiritual and evolved, but if they avoid facing their escapist tendencies, the result can feel like a lie or a performance. They try to grow up, but without developing their craft with discipline, that effort can feel incomplete or stalled. I think if Bieber had been able to meet his swag moment with more technical discipline under his belt, it may have been more of a runaway hit and given his fans something special, especially after a 4-year break. That said, like with many Pisceans, his natural talent and his ability to communicate his spirit is undeniable, and so I'm sure swag will undoubtedly be a fan favorite. And as a Sagittarian myself, I'll also add that it's not unnoted that it's definitely a flex to be able to make something like this so last minute and to be able to say, yeah, I can still sing and I'm not even trying to.
You know I can still sing. Bitch, I can sing back then. I can sing even better now. Can you? Now shut the fuck up. Thank you.
It reminds me a lot of the song by Greg and Crazy Ex-Girlfriend, the I Could If I Wanted To. And in that sense, I am a believer in that I do think he could continue to grow and develop as an artist and develop his craft if he wanted to. But after working through his whole childhood, being in the public eye throughout his whole childhood, I'm not sure if he wants to.